Hey guys, this is Kate, and this is my opinion podcast on renewable resources. Now, what are the best energy sources for the next 2 to 25 years? Well, nobody can quite say it by this point, but I can give you my opinion. Well, the first one that I'd like to say is, well, it shines down on us every day, and if you don't love it, then you have issues. Yes, that's right, that's the sun. And it would be solar energy that I'd like to talk to you about. Now, solar energy, the way that we harvest it today, is mostly by using solar panels, which is basically a thermal mass which absorbs heat and light energy. Now, there are no byproducts using solar energy whatsoever. It's basically just it's the sun being stored in a battery and then being reused. Light and heat are already forms of energy, so there's no need to actually have it transformed into something else. It's just the way of us storing it and then being able to use it. There's really nothing wrong with them other than it does cost a lot, but as opposed to oil, nowadays our oil is running out, our economy will crash, and in some odd way it'll basically be the Armageddon, because we won't have any oil, and that's the way our society works. So solar energy is something that will never run out, and we can use it for basically all time. So that's one reason why I think we should use solar energy. Another thing I'd like to talk to you about is wind energy. Now, wind energy is mostly known by windmills, and the windmills, they're not difficult structures at all. Windmills basically look like a windmill that you used to spin when you were like 3 years old. That sort of looks like a flower. But they're basically these giant turbines inside this little motor, and when the wind blows, the turbines will spin, which creates an electric spark, which produces electricity, which is then stored in a mass battery, and then we use. Now, right now, they're mostly in plains, up on high mountaintops in plains, and even now they're even being placed in the ocean. Now, last year only 1.5% of the worldwide energy was wind energy. Now that was only in 2008. In 2 years, or even in 25 years, we can start putting these windmills in every place possible. We can fill up the fields with them. We can fill mountaintops. We can even place them throughout the ocean. They're not necessarily right now the smartest thing because they are rather expensive. But when it comes down to us, either the economy crashing or paying a little more money so we can have windmills in the middle of the ocean, I think that's something I'd be willing to risk. It's also, it does not harm the environment. You use one windmill can provide energy for a whole household for up to almost ever. But Denmark last year, between 2005 and 2008, Denmark started using up their energy by 19%. Spain is using now 11% wind energy. Portugal is now using 7% wind energy. So, and Germany and the Republic of Ireland are starting to now use them. So if we were to just make them more available, and we were to up those percentages, we will be able to use wind energy. I'm really repeating myself. Sorry. The final thing I'd like to talk to you about is in the next 2 to 25 years, because this has been around since the Romans. What I'd like to talk to you now about is hybrid energy, hydropower, water energy, basically. Now, this has been around since ever. The Romans used this. In 1830, China used this to, actually for transportation. They used a hydropower, which is basically you're harnessing the energy and power of water. It's basically the turbines that I just talked about in the wind energy, and it's underwater. So it's like you take our Faber Dam down by Shamokin Dam, and basically you throw a few turbines under there, and then that will spin while the water passes over it. And just like in a windmill, the energy is produced. We have a constant source of water. It's constantly flowing. That means we will have a constant source of energy. There's no pollutants. There's no bad byproducts. It's a very good resource. Now, all these things, all of the ways that I talked about using this energy has only been used within probably the last 3 years. We can, in the next 25 years, we will be able to eliminate our use of oil dependency completely. Every town will be ran on wind energy or solar energy or water energy. And right now the president is even is trying to start a Go Green Act, basically. They are going to put $150 million towards this project, and it's going to help over 50 million workers. So it will create jobs, it'll help out the economy, and it'll help out the world. So, this has been my opinion podcast, even though it was more like a video. Sorry, Miss Ruse. This has been my opinion podcast on renewable energy. Have a nice